All right, Kevin back with you for another episode of the $1 Million Relationships Podcast. And today I'm here with Melanie Krings. Melanie, welcome. So awesome to have you on the show today.
Hi, Kevin. Thank you so much. It is a pleasure to be here with you.
I'll tell you, after our last conversation, I have really been looking forward to doing this interview with you. I want to start off by just giving a shout out to Rachel Weber, because she's your PR person, is that right?
She is. She's amazing. She is helping us tell our story in an amazing way.
Well, I will tell you, she is absolutely brilliant at doing what she does and talking you up because,
Wow.
she reached out to me to tell me about you, and she did a great job on that. But it certainly doesn't help that I don't know, maybe about a year ago, referred another great guest to this podcast who I've actually become really great friends with too and stuff. And so when she comes back again, I'm like, Rachel, I mean, it's not, as if you didn't speak highly enough about Melanie already. We've already got history, and like anybody that you recommend, I will absolutely have on the show. And so,
Yeah, she's
and
an amazing person, not only at her craft, but just an amazing human being.
Yes, absolutely. And what a great way to get connected through somebody like that, that we've already got a relationship there and stuff.
Yes.
And so I know, I don't know about you, but when we spoke for the first time, it just kind of felt like we'd known each other for years because of how
I
we got
know.
connected.
Yeah,
And so,
like he just did such a great job of telling me about you and vice versa that it was just easy to find the natural connections.
yeah, for sure. So what I'll do is, we're going to get into we're going to get a good conversation today. But to
Yes, we
kick it
are.
off, I'm going to start with a really simple and easy question, and then we'll start digging deeper from there and stuff. And so to start with, Melanie, we'll talk about, what do you do and who do you serve?
So I am the co-founder of She Sports.
Okay.
This is an app that we built for young girls ages 8 to 18. And the whole concept of it is we wanted a safe, moderated, empowering, educational type of space for young girls, including our 12-year-old and 8-year-old daughters, a place for them to go to on their tablets, on their phones, because we know these kids are all on technology these days. But like, what's a good place we can send them to that's not social media, that is not gaming? Because on both of those platforms, we have to worry about the keyboard warriors and the creepos out there that are trying to get access to young kids and all of the inappropriate content and information. So we built this platform as a safe place for girls, particularly girls in sports.
Okay.
And all of the content on our platform comes from female college athletes. So we sign NIL deals with them. So we are paying these athletes to get on our platform, talk about all the different facets of their lives. And in return, like, yes, we're paying them, but they really love the opportunity just to give back to the next generation. And just so these young girls know, like, hey, you're not alone. Like, we're amazing college athletes and we're still going through the same struggles you are. So we want these girls to know you're not alone. Let's celebrate the successes you're having, but let's help each other through the hard times as well. And it's been a great success so far.
Wow. So, Melanie, what inspires you most about the work you get to do and the impact you guys are making?
We hear from parents, we get messages, Facebook posts, emails all the time from parents who have girls on the platform. And a lot of these parents and coaches it's free, so they have memberships with us as well.
Okay.
And we hear from them all the time, like, thank you so much for what you're doing. Our daughter, her confidence has grown so much because of what she's learning from these athletes, or she's just really enjoying all of the content because a lot of it's serious, but a lot of it's also fun. One of our most popular videos within the last couple of weeks was one of our softball players doing her hair and her makeup before her game, right? So,
Okay.
like the trendy, fun stuff that young girls resonate with and
Mhm.
are interested in. But at the same time, when we hear from parents, like, you're really helping her grow her confidence. Like she was going through a tough time and her athletes are helping her through it. Or we just love all the positive content. Every time we get those messages, Kevin, we're like, oh my gosh, okay, this is why we're doing what we're doing.
Yeah.
So a few weeks ago here in our Omaha community, a young seventh grader committed suicide.
Oh,
She
wow.
was a popular girl. She played multiple sports, including club volleyball at the same club my 12-year-old plays at. And that was just a really hard time for the community, and it really hit me hard because her age is so close to my daughter's age. She's just a year older. She plays club volleyball at the same club, and I'm just like, it's hard to imagine a world where a girl so young feels such deep sadness and
Yeah.
despair and loneliness that she would go to those lengths. And that's again why we have this platform. We're trying to build this really amazing community of not only athletes, but we have professionals on the platform as well giving us content. So we have a sports psychologist, a mental health
Okay.
therapist, a nutritionist who actually specializes in eating disorders. Every day we're adding more content creators just to give these girls a really great place to go to when they're feeling like they need a little bit of the fun or when they're looking for something to help them with their confidence or whatever issues they're going through. So that's our motivation, hearing from these parents and these girls about how much the content is resonating. In today's world where mental health issues are more prevalent in young people than ever, that's why we have this platform. It's so needed. Um, and we have really amazing role models in these collegiate athletes who are inspiring the next generation. So it's a really great opportunity for the young girls, but for our athletes as well.
Yeah. Wow. So how did you happen to get into doing this kind? Because I think back to when I was a kid, I wanted to be a fireman,
Yeah.
and so I just want to know, well, what was your track and how did you even end up here to because yeah, I just want to dig into some of the
Yeah.
background
Well,
there.
my husband and I are both very entrepreneurial. So he also owns several other businesses.
Okay.
And right now I am working full time at a business, but exciting news. I am transitioning full time into She Sports because we believe so strongly that the mission is strong. There's a great business model here. We need full-time focus to take this to the next level. So we'll be transitioning to become that full-time entrepreneur myself, which is super exciting.
That's awesome.
But really this idea was born. Our daughter is a sixth grader. She got a cell phone last year when she was a fifth grader. And we're not helicopter parents, but we try to keep a really close eye. Who are you texting? What apps are you on? Very careful about letting her be involved in any social media platforms. And if she is, like making sure the content is private, right? Looking at who she's friends with. And so we just went down this rabbit hole of looking through her phone and being like, okay, like let's look through all the YouTube shorts you're looking at. None of them are like inappropriate, thank goodness. But man, a lot of it's just junk too, right? So there's got to be something better out there. Oh, and guess what? There's not. Like there's not a lot of really great content that's educational or inspiring that's geared towards these young girls. So we decided to create it ourselves. And let me tell you, developing an app. Thank God we had really great developers helping us with the process because it is quite the process. We're not using AI to build it. We're using humans who know what they're doing and have really great backgrounds. So we're building a team of really successful people who are great at their craft and they've helped us build this ecosystem that we are creating all around girls in sports.
Okay. Wow. Wow. What? What an inspiring story right there. And congratulations on getting ready to make this transition. Because I'll tell you,
Yes,
I
thank you.
yeah, and it's a big step. It's a big step,
Mhm.
and I remember when I first. I mean, man, time flies because it's already been 31 years since I first became an entrepreneur, and I wouldn't trade it for nothing. I have
Yeah,
just so enjoyed being an entrepreneur. I couldn't even imagine working for somebody else now.
yeah,
And so
yeah. You know,
yeah,
as a mom of four really busy, active kids who are all in multiple sports, and a lot of them are select sports, uh, I'm excited about being in charge of my own schedule to some degree, right? But more importantly, it's just the excitement of building something.
yeah,
My husband and I both, we love to take risks and try different things and see what works and adjust. And we're both very sort of right and left brain. We love the data side, and that drives a lot of our decision making, but
okay,
also the chance to just be creative and figure out what's going to resonate with our audience, both the
yeah,
young girls and their parents and coaches, and how can we really get them to interact with our athletes both through the app, but also through Zoom live events, through the podcast, through in-person events. So just the opportunity to create something in a space where it's so needed is just super exciting.
yeah.
So yeah, it'll be an adventure, that's for sure, Kevin.
You bet. So, what's your vision for She Sports from your current vantage point, Melanie?
Right now, we are only in Nebraska. So, and when I say that, I mean we launched in Nebraska because we live here in Omaha,
Uh-huh.
and we have athletes from three of the big universities. So Creighton University, University of Nebraska Omaha, University of Nebraska Lincoln. So we've got amazing athletes, but we know there are amazing athletes all across the country with really unique and empowering stories to share. So our vision, while we started small here in Nebraska, the vision is to take this nationwide. We have membership already across the country, but we just were talking about this the other day. Even just here in Nebraska, just in Omaha, there are so many girls who don't know that She Sports is out there for them yet. There are so many more athletes that we can be signing deals with to get them into the platform to share their stories. Because I'll tell you, Kevin, one thing that the athletes really appreciate about what we've built, because it's not social media and it's this more protected environment, they're
Mhm.
talking about things that they would never put out on social media because they're afraid of what all those keyboard warriors, like they're going to tear
Yeah,
them apart,
yeah,
right?
yeah,
So they're talking about the mental health struggles. They're talking about spirituality. They're talking about all the different facets that make them a great human, not just a great athlete. So we know that we have just dipped our toe
yeah.
into what's possible here. So we've started small, but the vision is to grow this nationwide and to make sure that girls all across the country uh, enjoy this free app, and that parents know that it's safe, it's moderated. You don't have to worry about what your kid's going to see on this platform because we are keeping an eye on it and we're vetting it all for you. So that's the vision, to take this nationwide within the next several years.
Okay, very good. Well, okay, so now that we've got a little bit of context set here and people know a
Mhm.
little bit about who you are and what you're all about, I want to switch gears just a little bit. I want to start talking about the relationship side of this.
Ah, yes.
So, have you ever been introduced to a person or persons who
Hmm.
completely changed the course of your life or your business, so much so that much of what you have today would not be possible if not for this person or persons? And I'm just really excited to hear your story and your experience around this topic of relationships.
Yeah, so in some ways, I'm already an entrepreneur because I facilitate dining and professional etiquette courses at universities here in Nebraska.
Okay.
And the way that I approach those sessions is all centered on relationships matter so much to your future that's why you need to know which fork to use and how to work a room. It's not so that you can look good. It's so that you can build really great, deep relationships with people because that's how you're going to excel in your career someday.
Yes.
What
Yes.
you know is important. Who you know is even more important. So I
Right.
try to
Right.
like get that into their brains and frame my entire presentation that way. And I tell them, I am where I am at today because of the relationships in my life, not because I've applied to a job on a job board, right? So I think one of the first really important relationships, um, and I'm going to switch. We talked about this just a little bit ago, but I'm going to switch this up a little bit.
Okay.
So when I was a college student, I was very active on campus. I worked in the College of Business. I went to school here at UNO in Omaha and very active in a lot of different ways. So I knew a lot of the faculty members. I knew a lot of the administration at the university. When I graduated from college in 2008, it was right in the heart of a recession. So, I thought I had a really great resume and I was going to go get a big corporate job and start working my way up the ladder and break glass ceilings out in the corporate world. Well, guess what? Mel couldn't even get a job because people were getting fired more than they were getting hired at the time. So it was a really, really tough market. And there was the lady that I worked for at the time named Patty Adams. She worked for a program at the university. She said, "Hey Mel, I just saw that they posted a job with the executive MBA program. It's for a coordinator role. Like, I really think you should consider it. It would be right up your alley, right?" So I'm like, I really want to go be like Miss Corporate America. I don't know if I want to do it. But eventually I was like, okay, let's go for it because it's a job and that's what I need right now. It's a full-time job, right? Um, so long story short, I applied. I had all of the different connections to administrators, to faculty members, to staff members, reach out to the director who was hiring and say, you need to hire this girl. She's so involved, say nice things about me, all the things. And long story short, I got the job. And what I thought would be a short stint, this would be a short term, get Mel through the recession, maybe get my MBA for free and then move on to corporate America. It turned into a 15-year career path that I absolutely loved. And eventually, I was leading the executive MBA and executive education programs in the College of Business. And here's the really cool part, Kevin. I wanted to be Miss Corporate America, but guess what? We were working with Corporate America to develop leadership programs to help raise the business acumen of their workforce. So in a lot of different ways, we were highly involved
Yeah.
and integral in shaping some of these companies. And it was a career path that I never expected. I'm a big believer that when life opens different doors, you need to be open to them because you never know what can happen,
That's
right?
right. That's right.
Um, so yeah, without that relationship, without that person pushing me, hey, you should check this out. You'd be great for it. I would have never had a career path because I never would have even considered it, to be quite
Yeah.
honest.
Yeah.
And it really shaped the trajectory. I love teaching. Like I said, I love building things. So this was a very revenue generating heavy program for the College of Business. So the opportunity to work with the corporate world, work with professionals going back for their MBA. It just was such a cool experience. Met so many amazing people that I run into now all over town, who graduated from our executive MBA program and lifelong relationships for sure. And then my story doesn't stop there. It's very interesting. So eventually I left the executive MBA program. COVID was really hard and stressful. for an in-person program that included
Okay.
international travel, by the way. Good luck with that during
Yeah,
COVID, right?
right.
So, eventually stepped away, did the mom thing for a little bit, but eventually I was like, okay, get me out of my house. I can't do any more laundry. I need to go meet people and be around people and use my brain, right? So I decided, to kind of start putting feelers back out, like figure out what's next for me. And again, the network started in motion. Uh, there are some very active females in our community who are just in every single philanthropy you can think of. And I'm a small part of some of those circles.
Okay.
And the mom network, that philanthropy network, just started talking. And uh, I have a friend who our daughters danced together for a few years. She's an attorney here at the law firm that I work for. And she said, "Hey, I heard through the network that you're potentially looking for a new role. We might have something here for you." And I said, okay, let's have a conversation, right? And she's like, yeah, I don't know if we have anything or not, but if not, we know everybody in town. We can help you. I'm like, okay, sounds good. Long story short, again, because of my network, I've had the amazing opportunity to be a part of this law firm for the past 3 years. And what was so great, when I was at UNO working in higher ed, especially towards the end, I was recruiting, I was marketing, I was in charge of our P&L. Operations, you name it, like running a small business, right, for the college.
Okay.
And I was like, oh man, now I'm probably just going to have to go the marketing route or just recruiting or just talent development. And this opportunity gave me the chance to dip my toe still into all of those different areas, but for a law firm. So I'm
Wow.
still on campuses recruiting and interacting with young people. So it's just been an amazing experience. And again, never applied for a job. It was people reaching out to me saying, "Hey, you might be good for this. Let's
Mhm.
talk." And here we are. And again, like just really great relationships built over the course of the last 3.5 years. Some of which have turned into small components of what we're trying to do at She Sports. So I, you never can underestimate how important a relationship will be. So again, going back to all of these young college students, freshmen in particular, right? Like I know you guys don't understand this now, and it might be hard to see, but I tell them, I'm like, I wish I did a better job keeping in touch with some of my college classmates and MBA classmates, right? Because one of them, a good example, one of them is running the Omaha Airport Authority now, like a bigwig in our city. And I'm like, dang, like good for you. But I have no relationship with him now because I didn't put the emphasis on it, right?
Yeah.
So it's
Yeah.
just like they're just so important and
Yeah.
trying to get them to understand like relationship building takes time and it's not always about what's in it for me.
That's right.
What can you do for me in the short term? It's a long game
Yeah.
and then things just start happening at the right time, right?
Yeah, that's right. That's right. And even what you pointed out, that both those relationships got you into positions without having to apply, without having to,
Yeah.
go through the typical channels that other people might have to
Yes.
go through. And
Hmm.
basically you were just kind of brought around the side door and like we're like, come
A
on this. I'm
shortcut.
gonna connect you
Yeah.
with just who you need to talk with over here.
Yes. Yes.
And what an amazing example and testament to the power of right relationships.
Yeah, yeah. And
And
I think too, I always stress like your reputation is so important.
oh, yes.
Um, and I think that was a part I'm just always like authentic. I am who I am. I'm always positive. I'm a look at the glass half full type of person. And I think it was because some of those things, because I had the reputation, because I'm a positive person, a trustworthy person, that A, I'm able to build relationships with people that are more lasting, but B, then when people hear about things, they're like, oh yeah, Mel, right?
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
just,
Yeah.
yeah, trying to get young people to understand that because it can help shape the trajectory of their lives, right?
Absolutely. Absolutely. And really, I mean, look at what you're doing on this app. You are bringing those younger people together with the gals who are a little bit older than them, maybe a little bit
Yeah,
further ahead than them and
yeah,
stuff. But I mean, they get to start like seeing the value of having these kind of connections and these kind of relationships and stuff at a young age. And my
yeah.
goodness, how valuable is that for them to just really experience that in real time? Yeah, no.
Yeah, and it's really cool. So on the app, these girls are able to ask the athletes questions. So it can be sport specific, and a lot of them are, but it also can be very general, sort of life, like give me life advice, right? And it's really cool to see different athletes respond to those questions because then our different athletes, they've all had different life experiences. They have different perspectives, different things to share. So uh, the girls are just getting a lot of really good angles to all these different questions that they're asking. And I think that's so important because everyone's story is so different. No one's path is the same. And for each girl then to hopefully say, oh, I see myself in that answer, like
Yeah.
that, I can really relate to that one right there, right? But at the same time, broaden their perspective and get them to think bigger. Not only about things here in the short term, but about their futures as well.
You bet. Absolutely. Absolutely. Well, for anybody that might be listening to this and thinking to themselves, man, Melanie, I really love Melanie and I love who she is and how she shows up and I'd like to find out more about what they're doing. Any website, any resources we can share with folks?
Yes, of course. So we'll share our website, and there is an email there that you can submit. So there's a couple of fun different things you can do on there actually.
Okay.
If you know a collegiate female athletes anywhere in the country that you think would be a really great inspirational role model to young girls, we do have a She Sports Athlete application on the website. So
Okay.
we have done a lot of the research and looking for the right fit because not every athlete is willing to commit the time to something like this. We do pay NIL, but we're a startup. So right now it's not a lot of NIL, right? But we're trying to move the needle for some of these athletes just a little bit. Um, so it is a time commitment. We are looking for athletes who want to give back, who are dedicated to their sport, but are also dedicated to academics. Like we're looking for very well-rounded, right? And again, just a great story to share, a really positive role model. So if you know of somebody, get them to fill out that application if they're interested. And we'd love to have a conversation about what that looks like because to
Awesome.
really grow this at the national level, we're going to need some help finding those amazing athletes out there.
Okay.
But maybe more importantly, we are still looking for investors in our company. We're looking for people who believe in our mission, and are willing to help us get to that next level. And
Okay.
right now, the investor money will really go towards continuing to develop a really dynamic app where girls want to spend their time, but then also helping us support these NIL contracts so that we can give these collegiate athletes the opportunities to make a little bit of money, but again, more importantly, the opportunity to give back to the next generation. And right now we are starting to build in sponsorships into the app. Like we're going to keep it minimal. We don't want it to become overwhelming, but we want to get the right brands in front of our girls because we know how much buying power they have. I can't tell you how many times my 12-year-old has convinced me to buy something that she absolutely didn't need, right? So they're very convincing. They know what they want, they know what brands they like. So this is a very powerful audience for brands to be in front of. So if that's your brand and you're interested, like again, we'd love to have a conversation.
Yeah. Awesome. Awesome. Well, I want to thank you so much, Melanie, for taking the
Yeah.
time to have this conversation today. I really appreciate it. And I really appreciate you. And I am excited to get this out there and share it with folks. So thank you so much.
Yes, thank you for the opportunity to share a little bit about She Sports and to chat with you today.
You bet.